Richmond embodies the characteristics of both short tracks and speedways alike. Richmond is a rocket-fast challenge for every driver who competes on this wide and fast 3/4 mile oval. I am Emerson Arden, and I have my colleague Will Tiller alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening, and we are excited to be bringing you live coverage of round number 18 of 20 from virtual Richmond, Virginia, here on the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform. And Will, we still have 9 drivers competing for 4 spots following Brad Herman's wicked 3-wide victory last time out in Michigan. With this Richmond Raceway being the last short track on the season, and if we were to ride the coattails of the wild race we had last night, how do you feel, or what do you anticipate the aggression could be out there tonight?
Oh, Emerson, that is an absolutely perfect word of the day. It's just like Sesame Street here. Aggression is going to be the name of the game, especially how close these points are. 1 point separates 3rd through 7th. And then we have the likes of Joshua Balliet, Gabriel Ellison on the outside looking in. Those were our title favorites during the regular season. I think in these first 50 laps of the race, it's going to be the most important 50 laps of the season. We're going to make sure you get those stage points. As I mentioned last night, Emerson, we're running out of these stage point runs here. Only a few races remain this season. Aggression level is going to be at an all-time high here at Richmond.
Absolutely, Will. And while we're here at Richmond, Virginia, for round number 18 to 20, the second race of the second round of playoffs, we're going to transition into our point standings. We take a look at it. All right, Will, Brad Herman, we all know, locked in last time out at Michigan, and you made the observation before we went on the air, Will, this could be anyone's race. I mean, this is wide open.
Yeah, I mean, you look from really the only guy locked, and you mentioned that 38 machine of Brad Herman. Dean Brummett could be knocked out. Ryan Johnson's in that 3rd spot. You look at the other side of the bracket. Gabriel Ellison, I mentioned Joshua Balliet not too long ago. Even Kyle Westwood, only 17 points out. He has a mathematical shot here tonight, even without a win, to put himself in a great spot. This is going to be absolutely chaos these first 50 laps. These drivers want to get stage points. And then you're looking at another 130, 120 laps after that. It's going to be absolutely crazy here, especially since we take a week off next week. I mean, anybody's championship here down the stretch.
Absolutely. And I mean, just looking at it, right, everything's so tight. I mean, Dean Brummett, the highest driver in points, that's not Brad Herman, that's not locked in there. You see it there. I mean, look at it, 6 points above the cut line. Below, even though it's a little bit more than most, 17 points below the cut line is very achievable tonight. And with still factoring, we have one more race to go with Nashville. It really is wide open here. Kyle Westwood is going to have to do a little more work than the rest, especially because that group of drivers 2nd to 8th, Will, there's no slouches in there. They're going to be up there competing all evening long. And so Kyle Westwood, yes, he's 17 points back, and yes, he has the opportunities to overcome that and be up there when it matters most, but he's going to need to step up and be there to really take advantage of the point scenarios that are ahead of him.
Yeah, and tonight is the night. These first 50 laps is that chance. It's going to be an absolute blast of a race. I talk about the checklist. You want to get those boxes checked off early. We watched it last night in that race. You know, Josh Green did that perfectly. Just came up a little short in that race. Jeffrey Radke at the last lap. I mean, we could talk about that all this broadcast here, Emerson. But tonight, I expect nothing less. It's going to be a race within a race. It's going to be crazy. I'm ready for it.
And I am too, Will. Let's go ahead and get down to our starting lineup then, Will. It's Joshua Balliet, a driver looking on the outside, trying to make it in 1 point below the cut line. Well, it's a great start to his night, Will, starting on the pole. He's got Michael Sturgill to his outside. Row 2 will be Daniel Butler and Reese Schaefer. Row 3, Gabriel Ellison and Landa Cardullo. Row 4, Ryan Johnson and Logan Truitt, with Timothy Latham and Brian McAvoy rounding out the top 10, Will.
Yeah, looking there in that 11th spot, we have Dean Brummett in that 66 machine. Lane Doyle will roll off 12th. Austin Purnell there in 13th. Michael Pilates in 14th position. Kyle Westwood in 15th. Brad Herman, last week's winner, is going to roll off 16th here tonight. Kyle Westwood right there as well. Wayne Hoser is going to roll off 17th. Branson McKinnon there in 18th. Connor Cunningham in 19th. And Doc Holliday will round out our top 20.
Starting shotgun on the field, Albert Hugh and Gerald Poole are last two drivers on the grid this evening. 22 drivers taking to Richmond Raceway. Will and quickly putting you on the spot. Who you got?
I mean, this is going to be a tough one quickly. I know I got to throw out. I'm going to go with this is going to be a surprise pick for you. I'm going to go with a Toyota. I'm going to go with a 27 machine, a Gabriel Ellison in tonight's race here at Richmond.
All right, I like Gabriel Ellison. That's a good pick. I think I'm going to go with the driver right alongside him in that same row, Landon Cardulo. Here coming in, a little part-time driving, running the playoffs. Time for him to get it turned back around. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane, and racing commences from Richmond. One lap completed. Joshua Balliet heading. Michael Sturgill, Daniel Baldler, Reese Schaefer, Gabriel Ellison, the top five. Schaefer and Ellison doing battle as they work their way up off the corner, side by side into turn 3.
Yeah, just feeling each other out here as a 27 machine. Gabriel Ellison will look to the inside of Reese Schaefer. That 17 will force him up the racetrack here as we cross that start-finish line. Just a few laps into this race, we are single file into the corner.
Single file through the first few rows. Our stage caution tonight coming out at lap number 50. That's 5-0. A lot of racing for these drivers before we get to that point. Here you go, a little bit of a side-by-side battle. Last week's winner, Brad Herman, dueling it out with Austin Purnell. Makes easy work of him. He clears him coming out of turn number 4 back in 12th.
Patience is going to be the key here tonight, Emerson. We watched it last night in that race. Drivers are going to have to settle in, but also battle for spots. You see that 66 of Dean Brummett. He's going to move up position as well. I expect here in the first 10 to 15 laps, drivers will get warmed up. They'll wait for those Goodyear Eagles to get broken in. And then it's going to be an absolute shootout here to get stage points. But here goes Reese Schaefer in that 17. He'll get the spot from Balder as we come off the corner. Reese Schaefer up to third.
A great move there from the 17 machine. Reese Schaefer trying to work his way back up the running order. Schaefer still searching for his first win on the season. And what better time than it would be right now here in the thick of the playoffs to get it done. Nice move there to work himself up into third position. You can hear Ryan Johnson, Landon Cardulo, 6th position here, getting a little tight. Dean Brummett on the way as well. Bobble there out of the corner for Landon Cardulo. Dean Brummett, teammate, is going to take advantage of it. He'll send it down to the inside. Dean Brummett clears up to 7th.
Yeah, Dean Brummett on the move in that 66 machine. Now has his sights set on the 38 of Johnson, who last week had an incredible run. Johnson in that 38 almost had a chance in that race. Came all the way down to that last lap there as he's on the back bumper of Gabriel Ellison. Everybody on the low side of the racetrack, watch as this race progresses. That tire wear will become a factor. These trucks will start to slide up, and these trucks will actually prefer that higher line, Emerson. It's going to be one of those games of a teeter-totter that's going to be from the inside lane to the high side as we jump back up here to the lead. Joshua Balliet leading the way.
Yeah, Balliet talking to him pre-race, feeling the pressure a little bit. You know, short tracks, this is his track type. This is the track type he feels the best at. This is the one he feels he can, you know, get it done at, especially here in the thick of the playoffs, being 1 point outside the cut line. Joshua Balliet felt the need to take this race by storm. So far, he's done that. He's qualified on pole. He's led all 9 laps complete so far, working lap 10, opening up the lead to Michael Sturgill. It'll be, can Balliet maintain this, and through, you know, strategy changes throughout the race, can he maintain that top spot? We'll have to wait and see. But Balliet here in the early going, looking dominant.
He's been that way all season. The 7 machine of Joshua Balliet, as I mentioned to kick off this broadcast, was one of those title favorites throughout the season. Now, coming into these playoff races, has struggled just a little bit. When I say struggle, Emerson, he is on the outside looking in. There's only 1 point that separates everybody. But you talked about the pressure for that 7. Not something that he's used to here this season. He's leading the way 12 laps in. We'll jump back here to a positional battle between Johnson and Dean Brummett in that 66. 66 of Dean Brummett trying to get another spot as he's looking to get inside the top 5 into the corner.
Dean Brummett all over that rear tailgate there, the 38 of Ryan Johnson. We're right on board. You get to see all over. There's that Toyota Tundra number 66. Dean Brummett trying to find a way past Johnson. He had a nice peek into the inside of turn 1. Johnson did a nice job of driving up off the corner-on-corner exit. And now we're still nose to tail in this battle. There's one battle going off every back. Austin Purnell and Brian McAvoy. That's at the 13th position. This one going on behind Brad Herman, last week's winner. Just outside the top 10 here in the early going, but no pressure for him to perform now. Purnell, he'll make that pass work on Brian McAvoy. Cleared up to 12th position is the 36 of Austin Purnell. As we move further back up the order, it's Ryan Johnson still under heavy attack from Dean Brummett.
Yeah, these battles all over the racetrack here. We expected this pace, though. 15 laps in. That stage break will happen on a lap 50. Stage points are becoming a virtue, Emerson. If you really break it down, we have this stage right here. We have the stage in the next race, the elimination race, and then stage points possibly in the championship race. That's it for the stage points. So this is the time where you need to get as many points as possible. Dean Brummett, he's trying to do that. Still on the back bumper of Johnson as we go across that start-finish line into 1.
A great point there, Will. And the other thing is stage points in that last race for the Championship 5 will not be counted for those Championship 5 drivers. So if you're making that Championship 5, you know, this is your second to last stage points opportunity of the season. And you got to make a count here, especially with this round. Everyone came into the round reset at 0 points. You see how tight the points are. Second through 10th in the point standings are separated by 24 points. I mean, that is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and there's really no clear favorite either. And it was an upset victory from Brad Herman, that 38 machine, essentially coming from the outside locked in that 38. And no offense to Brad Herman in that 38 machine, it wasn't a name we've been calling out all season either, Emerson. So very, very shocking when you can see he's taking a page out of Michael Madden in that Tuesday night series, taking tonight off, not seeing him in this field. I don't blame him, as we do have a truck on the apron. It looks like the 13 machine having some early issues.
Yeah, left front damage here for the JBR truck of Branson McCannon. Trying to limp it to the pit lane. We'll take a quick moment here and see what happened. Branson McCannon, the 13 machine. Oh my goodness, sideways. As we catch up to the replay, bounces it up the inside wall. iRacing does not detect it as a caution, but my goodness. Look at it there. Pounces off the inside wall. Running all by himself, I have to believe he just locked up the rear brakes trying to get into the corner. And he feels it there. We'll see if we can get one more look at it here. Maybe find our way a little further back to see what happened. Oh, a little bit more to the story. McKinnon running up on, like that is the 28 of Connor Cunningham, and hits the brakes to avoid Cunningham. Fortunate night 4 of the 13 of Branson McCannon. He'll be in the pit lane early here, the first driver to suffer damage this evening. Working lap 23 of 185, nearly to the halfway point of stage number 1, Will. Nice little start for the field. Really for Balliet, he had a 1.8 second advantage. The battle's still brewing here for 6th, the one we've been keeping our tabs on this entire first stage between Ryan Johnson and Dean Brummett. Brummett now a great run. He's got to go. He's got to run here, and Johnson to the inside.
Dean Brummett, he's a man on a mission now. Just one spot outside of that top 5. I'm not going to call it just yet. Emerson is their door-to-door. Off the corner, 66 machine of Dean Brummett trying to get around the 38 of Johnson. I mentioned Johnson's performance last week was incredible as we come off of 4 through the Geico restart zone. Across that start-finish line. This battle continues, Emerson. They're not letting up. That 6th position here, 25 laps in.
We're going to shift our eyes up to 2nd as well. Michael Sturgill, Reese Schaefer going at it. So we got 2 battles up inside the top 10, Will, going on here. This one for 2nd. Schaefer trying to wrap that bottom on Michael Sturgill.
And Michael Sturgill, I got to say, one of those surprising names that has just risen to the top of not only the points table, but here in this race. He's now side by side with the 17 as they come off the corner. Now the 17 will go to the back bumper of the 90 of Michael Sturgill, who will now move up to 2nd. But here comes Dean Brummett once again. He's on that back bumper, but look behind the 66 there, Emerson, the 31 of Cardillo. He's coming as well.
Yeah, Cardillo, he's kind of been stalking that battle between Ryan Johnson and Dean Brummett, waiting for one of them or both to slip up and try to take advantage of it. Here's Schaefer trying to get back at Michael Sturgill. And hearing a little bit of the conversation pre-race, when you're on that outside, Will, these drivers, they feel it's so much easier to defend your position. And it's true to a certain extent because of the banking. But that if you can hold that middle lane and run it well, you can defend any position here. And Michael Sturgill's doing a great job on it right now. Reese Schaefer been making that charge to the field. Schaefer driving it really deep into turns 3 and 4. Not clear yet, but trying to get clear. But by doing that, Will, he's wearing out that right front tire.
He is, and those are one of the things we talked about. Tire wear is going to be the biggest name of the game. We watched it last night, Emerson. It was just like this. It was clear sailing. It was great racing side by side. And then the tires became a little funky, to say the least, there, Emerson, towards the end of that race. I think we ended with about 12 cautions in a race that started out with only 1 or 2 in the first stage. Here, no cautions so far as we watch the side-by-side battle between the 17 of Schaefer and the 90 of Michael Sturgill. They'll go side-by-side down the backstretch into 3.
Yeah, this is great stuff here, Will. I mean, they've been side-by-side now for about 5 laps. They continue this battle. Schaefer not able to get the run up off the corner like Sturgill a little sideways, but with the banking and the ability to get on the throttle sooner, they continue to be side by side. Balliet is driven away since then. He's now a 3 1/4 second clear of this battle, and the drivers behind are closing in on it. Schaefer trying to clear. He gets nearly clear to the center of the corner, but just can't get that clear off. Now side by side down the front straightaway again.
They're still side by side, and in this battle, I believe we're going to watch the entire race here. Emerson, the 90, the 17. They'll come off of the corner. Michael Sturgill here. See a little bit of an overseer out of the 17 coming off the corner. Emerson, he keeps it together, though. This can only continue the side-by-side battle for so long here in this first stage. As you mentioned, you're going to eat up the tires as this continues. But they'll continue side-by-side into the corner. This battle for second rages on.
This is great stuff. Well, when have we seen battles, last laps and laps on it? I mean, we're going to get into the range of near 10 laps here side by side for these two, and neither one of them breaking an inch.
No, not at all. Neither one of them giving up the spot. Neither one of them wants to concede in this battle. You look behind them. Here comes the 27 of Gabriel Ellison. All this side-by-side battling. It forces one of the trucks to stay on the high side, and that's the 90 Michael Sturgill, who almost bounced off that safer barrier. Gabriel Ellison will take this opportunity to try to catch that draft coming off the 17 and Schaefer on the low side of the racetrack. Goes steaming by, possibly a little BOGO action there, Emerson.
I mean, this is something else. We have now eclipsed 10 laps side by side, and Schaefer clears. Oh my goodness, in that 10 lap long side by side battle, Schaefer finally finds the advantage. He clears by Michael Sturgill, but oh boy, Will, he is now almost 4 seconds back of his teammate Joshua Balliet.
Yeah, I think here in this first stage, it will be Joshua Balliet. Does have that 4-second lead, and this is the performance that we're used to seeing out of the 7, especially here in this first stage. Just absolutely putting on just one of those performances. The how-to video here tonight on the Speed Racing Network. The 7 machine continues to lead, 37 laps in.
Yeah, just so smooth, I think would be the right way to go about it. So smooth for Joshua Balliet. We can ride on more and watch a lap around here to see how he takes it. And out here with no pressure, he can brake a little earlier than normal. You know, not feeling the pressure. He doesn't have to push the right front tire. He can just manage. He doesn't have to get on the throttle as early on corner exit. He can just let it ride up off the corner. He doesn't have to throw it into turn 3 like you would if you're battling. Just smooth sailing for Balliet here and opening the gap.
Yeah, and you talked about the pressure the 7 was feeling coming into this race. Well, Emerson in this lead spot, he is absolutely as low as you can go there on 2, down the backstretch. Doing no pressure right now. I know this pressure will build. We're going to have the stage breaks, some green flag pit stops as well. But boy, he's absolutely looked in and feeling good so far.
Here we go, battle brewing. This is Baldler and Brummett. This for the 6th position. Brummett got a run. He sends it down to turn 1, makes easy work of Daniel Baldler.
And I got to say, Daniel Butler has done a great job as well. Emerson has really risen his name in the mix here inside of the top 10, the 16 machine. He is in a sandwich of great drivers there. Cardello, Brummett there in the 66. This is where you want to be, though, Emerson, early in this race. You want to linger inside the top 10. You want to pit in the same strategy as these guys. You want to stay in the mix. I believe the 16 could be one of those names at the end of this race we'll be watching out for.
Absolutely. All of this goes on 7 seconds behind Joshua Balliet. Dean Brummett clears up to 6th. Now Brummett's going to have his sights set on the drivers up ahead of him in the top 5. Like Ryan Johnson, he was once battling with. Gabriel Ellison, Michael Sturgill, and Reese Schaefer. That might come, though, or if the eventual attempts to overtake them will probably come after the stage. This one might happen before the stage here in Sturgill and Ellison for 3rd.
Every little stage point will matter here, Emerson, as we come off a 2-27 machine of Gabriel Ellison. Now fades at the back bumper of the 90. Michael Sturgill there in that 3rd spot. Gabriel Ellison wants that extra point to get around the 90 here with just 7 laps to go here in stage number 1. Battles continue into 1.
Nose to tail for these two here. Sturgill been dropping since the green flag. Well, by dropping, I mean he lost 1 spot on Schaefer, but he's been working his way backwards on the running order. Ellison has been working his way forward. Sideways as the 90 off the corner.
He keeps it together, though. He's still good on the racetrack. The 90 machine stays on the high side. The 27 machine of Gabriel Ellison looked as though he wanted to make the move. Wants to make sure it's clean as we come off with 2 down the backstretch. The 90 machine slides again. Here goes the 27 to the low side. Gabriel Ellison with the run to the low side. Will he get the run? They're still side by side across that start-finish line. Gabriel Ellison, Michael Sturgill battle it out for that 3rd spot into 1.
Side by side now. Sturgill, he's seen this episode once before. Oh, he nearly gets the wall. If he doesn't, actually already out of turn number 2. Ellison trying to make easy work. Sturgill trying to file in line. Ellison clears. Sturgill files into 4th, and he's got to keep his eyes forward. He can't lose this next spot. Ryan Johnson coming up here as Dean Brummett scrapes the wall behind. Things getting a little spicy here towards the end of stage 1.
You can also tell the tires are starting to get a little worn as well. Trucks are sliding off the exit. Gabriel Ellison is trying to hold on to the spot. He knows he's fighting tires. Here comes Johnson in that 38, a name that's been lingering inside of that top 10. Michael Sturgill, though, wants to get back up to 3rd. He wants to finish this stage on the podium. It will be Joshua Balliet winning the stage without a doubt. Just the question is, Emerson, how many points can you get out of this late run? 48 laps in off of 2. Who will get it done? Joshua Balliet is riding into the sunset here in stage number 1.
Yeah, Balliet, he's got a lap and a half here. Things are getting hot here between Sturgill and Johnson as they come up off the corner. Johnson, he's got to run. When is Johnson going to make the move? He's got the peak. He wants to send it. Sturgill drives it hard into the corner. 1 lap to go in stage 1 for Joshua Balliet. He's qualified on the pole. He's been so dominant. And look at it here, Will. He's already put one driver a lap down in Albert Hewins. Maybe trying to put two. I don't know if he's going to be close enough. But coming through turns 3 and 4, Joshua Balliet is going to win stage 1 here at Richmond.
Joshua Balliet will get that stage victory. Looks as though Reese Schaefer will finish second. Gabriel Ellison has locked down that third spot. Michael Sturgill, it looks as though either Michael Sturgill or Johnson will get that fourth spot.
Give it to Sturgill.
Sturgill gets it there. Balder in 7th, Cardello in 8th. Latham moved up to 9th there at the end of that stage, and Truitt will be our top 10 in stage number 1.
So that is how they come across the line. Joshua Balliet, the stage winner. He put one driver a lap down in that stage. 2 if you count Branson McCannon with his unfortunate accident halfway through the stage. But Albert Hewins falls 1 lap down, and we are here with the 7 of Joshua Balliet. Pit lane will be open to the field this time. Everyone more than likely coming down to pit lane for some fresh tires, and here they go, working their way down the pit lane. Balliet leads, and he's got a gap down the pit lane. I think part of that gap is from the lap down truck in between, but Balliet gets the advantage of leading the field on the pit lane, Will, and then gets more of an advantage on the rest of the field. And we had some contact back on pit road. Logan Truitt, Connor Cunningham, something amiss. We'll go back and see what happened there. Oh, this was back here. Austin Purnell. Oh, Lena Cardullo spins on pit entry. Everyone has to slow down. Oh my goodness. That could have been wild there, but everyone keeps it going. Cardullo slides, but he saves it. And now we'll have the opportunity to talk to our stage 1 winner, driver of the number 7 in Joshua Balliet. And Mal, it has been smooth sailing so far to start stage 1 here at Richmond. Has it been all you expected so far in the first stage?
Yeah, found a little bit of, I guess, more than likely I found something in practice that I'm guessing no one else probably took advantage of, because it made the car feel absolutely a lot different on the long run. So on that long run, that's why you saw was kind of, me and Reese, since we're running it, we're just kind of pulling away. But overall, it's been good, but it's a short track, so you know anything can happen. A caution at the wrong time could screw your whole race over. Just happy to get the points.
Absolutely, here as you work now lap 55 here under caution. So far clean sailing. I imagine, you know, there's that one stop still to come in the second stage. How do you plan out the second stage? Do you go as long as you can, you know, potentially thinking about a yellow, or do you just ride it out and base, you know, your pit strategy here on a certain lap, even though, you know, a caution could trap you 2 laps down?
Give me 1 sec. Picking outside. But what I'm more than likely, since I'm gonna more than likely be in the lead here, it's when you're in the lead, you kind of control the race in the way if you just wait for the other people to pit, and you can just follow in pretty easily, so you don't get screwed over by yellows. So I know a few people are gonna stay out, and hopefully you don't get caught by that. But just looking to probably when the people behind me start heading down pit lane, then that's probably when I'll be heading.
All right, well, there it is. Driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet, our stage 1 winner. Congratulations on the stage 1 victory. Best luck to you the rest of the way. And that was driver of the number 7. Having a little bit of graphic issues here before we get back to the restart here, but stage number 2 about to be underway as Joshua Balliet, the race leaders, the iRacing.com safety vehicle heads into the safety of pit lane. Green flag back in the air. We work 57 of 185. 1 lap removed from the restart as we work lap number 58 as Joshua Balliet leading Reese Schaefer, Ryan Johnson in the battle for 4th there between Dean Brummett and Gabriel Ellison. They're side by side on the way down the back.
Yeah, battle continues as the 27 looks to the inside. The 66 will hold off. We'll jump back there, though. There's Michael Sturgill in the 90. We talked about the run for him. They're in that first stage. He's on fire, though, from the 31 machine. No, that's the 16 of Balder. They'll go side by side. They're side by side, the 66 and the 27 as well. 2 by 2, 4 spots inside the top 5 as we're into 3. It looks as though Balder pulls out of that move, though. The 16 not feeling it into the entry of the corner.
Yeah, Balder and Gerdula, they're trying to sort it out, but we still got it here for a 4th. Dean Brummett giving it his all down on the inside. Ellison not giving it any easy, or not going to give it to him any easier here as they continue to battle it out for that 4th position. Side by side once again into turns 3 and 4, and we've seen sustained side by side battles here at Richmond, continuing on here into the 2nd stage.
It's going to be that run now all the way down to those green flag pit stops, which you want to make sure you're in a good spot. You can't let the 7 of Joshua Balliet check out like he did there in stage number 1. Here comes the 66 of Dean Brummett. He's trying to fall on the back bumper of the 27 of Gabriel Ellison. These are the names. These are the names we talked about, Emerson, that have to have big performances here tonight. They're doing just that. Inside of the top 10. 62 laps in. Johnson in that 38, though. He has a Hornet's nest behind him. Don't want to check that rear view just yet as we're into 2.
Right on board with Ryan Johnson. You look at it there. Yeah, Ellison, Brummett, Sturgill, some hungry drivers behind as they all duel it out here in the thick of it. Some battles back here. We got Lane Hostler, one of our playoff drivers, in the thick of the back, in the thick of the midfield here, working his way to the inside of Logan Truitt, and move Hostler up to 11. Hostler trying to find himself up inside the top 10 here.
And that move, Emerson, I think is the gutsiest move in all of racing. To go blind side, low side of the racetrack to the high side. You just hope the guy sees you coming. You hope the guy respects your line on the top side of the racetrack. Because if you come across and that guy doesn't respect it and he's staying on the gas pedal, more than likely you're going to take some contact to that fender. It's going to spin you in the top side wall. So it's just that blind faith, that trust fall, if you will, to the top side every time that move is pulled off.
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw that yesterday will happen. I believe it was to Andrew Harris, was trying to get clear, and then he tried to clear up off the corner. The driver to his outside did not lift, and they made contact, and Harris was facing the outside wall faster than he knew it. So here we are, working lap 66. Dean Brummett taps the outside wall once again. Brummett, what he's trying to do, he's trying to maximize that entry, right? But he's not, a Sturgill pounds the wall behind. It was a little bit of a contagious move here to get that outside wall. Everyone giving a little love tap up there. But Brummett's been doing it most of the night as he tries to maximize the corner entry, try to get up alongside that outside wall, turn into the corner better. But he keeps getting it, and just hoping for his sake one of these times it doesn't bite him.
And one thing that's standing out to me that just went off on our scoring pylon up here in the booth, Emerson, is Reese Schaefer last time by the racetrack was faster than Joshua Balliet. I'm going to look this time as they go across that start-finish line again. The 17 machine of Reese Schaefer is faster than Joshua Balliet, our leader Ryan Johnson as well in that 38. Yep. This could be the 7 maybe conserving a little bit here early in this run.
Yeah, if you look at it, Balliet, he was actually the slowest out of the top 8. So intriguing there. Now Balliet runs a 0.28, and yep, right back to it is the fastest.
And that's an excellent move, and that's a veteran drive as well, Emerson, to know to conserve a few laps. You've got a good lead, you got a good cushion. You can let off the aggression just a little bit, and then when you see that number hit a benchmark, you get back on the gas again, now building that lead back up to almost a second there on Reese Schaefer in the 17. Go look at those lap times last time by. Again, Joshua Balliet puts himself on top of that grid. Joshua Balliet, 70 laps in. I believe it's going to take some strategy to knock that 7 out of victory lane.
Yeah, Balliet, he might have this winning thing kind of figured out. At least early in the going here, he's got the dominant part figured out, but working lap 71.85, still plenty of racing to go. Plenty can go on tonight, and something of Mr. Kyle Westwood, one of our playoff drivers, will on the pit lane unscheduled pit stop.
That's very, very interesting there for the 48 as he is down pit road. First truck to elect to head down here. And now we saw very, very different strategies last night, Emerson. This could be one of those things here. Just those mixed bag. We saw drivers so many different lap times. I believe at one point in the race, it was 11 to 12 laps. It separated some of the trucks on the racetrack. Some guys went down lap 28, didn't pit again to almost 100. So it was crazy last night, the different pit strategies we saw.
Now this is something else though, Will. He is still in the pit lane. The tires have been changed, and Kyle Westwood, that driver is 17 points below the cut line coming into today's race, Will. Gonna fall a couple laps off the pace now, and this is quite unfortunate. He might find himself, he's gonna find himself in a must-win situation next week.
And we talked about that off air, Emerson. The drivers, this is your opportunity to make it into the championship 5, but also on the flip side, with it being so tight, this could be disaster. And now you have to sit on tonight's results for 2 weeks until we get back on the track at Nashville. So much time to think about your performance in this race here tonight. That's why I've been saying here, Emerson, since last night, this is one of the most important races of the entire season. These are some of the most important green flag runs of the entire season. You're not going to get another shot at this except for at Nashville in 2 weeks' time. So you have to sit, you have to think about everything here. As drivers battling out the 35 machine there, looks to the inside of the 47, some battles inside of the top 15.
Absolutely, and they continue to battle up here. Johnson now under pressure, under attack from Gabriel Ellison. The battle for third now underway. Ellison down low, trying to wrap that inside. Johnson trying to fight it up high.
Johnson holding it down there in third. He goes high side into the corner. Gabriel Ellison on the low side of the 27 goes door to door with 38. Gabriel Ellison's been doing great here tonight. Dean Brummett now wants an invite to the party. He'll go to the low side of the racetrack. No, Michael Sturgill, he's right there as well. What a battle we have here. Emerson down the front stretch, across that start-finish line. They'll remain side by side into one.
The 4 trucks under a blanket here in this battle for third. Ellison, Johnson, Brummett, and Sturgill. 4 playoff trucks all going at it here for that third position. Ellison, Johnson, neither one of them giving it up. They still fight it out side by side. Coming up off the corner, Johnson, he's got the run. Ellison continues down low.
Look at that. Johnson stays to the low side of the racetrack. This is a beautiful shot here coming off the corner. Oh no! Johnson makes contact with the topside wall. That's that move we talked about last night as well. Such a move to go low side of the high side. You take that risk when you go so close to the top side. See, Johnson comes close again off of 4. He'll hold the position though from Gabriel Ellison. Dean Brummett now goes to the low side of the 27.
Wow.
He's looking to make a move with a crossover by the 66 as we're off of 2 down the backstretch.
Johnson taps the wall a couple times just when you thought Ellison was going to take advantage of it. Ellison has the moment out of 4. Will Brummett dives it down to the inside, and now we're side by side, 1 spot back. Here, Brummett and Ellison going out of her 4th. Now they all file back in line. Sturgill wants a piece of the action as well. Everyone all nose to tail here as they come off of turn number 2.
This is a dangerous spot to be in, though. Just a little bit of contact to that fender could send one of these drivers sideways as we're nose to tail here. We got Johnson, we got Ellison, we got Brummett, we got Sturgill. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th on the racetrack here. Is Joshua Balliet again checking out here on lap 82. We continue with this battle into 3 and 4 as the 7 will take us off of 4. Looking good. Emerson now back on the gas pedal.
Just to get a look at it there, he's got a 1.2 second advantage over teammate Reese Schaefer, then a 3 second advantage over this Hornet's Nest for the 3rd position. We'll shift our eyes further back here to Michigan race winner Brad Herman going at it with Logan Truitt. Side by side down the back straightaway. Also up the road, Lane Doyle and Michael Politis going at it.
this battle here. Look at Latham inside of the top 10 as well. McAvoy inside of the top 10. Balder there in 7th. That 47 machine, though, doing pretty good. It's the slow, steady pace here at Richmond that you want to follow. You don't want to press the issue too quickly. Just move up that grid. Get those positions as the 47, Doyle and Politis, they're moving up the grid here. Emerson, 85 laps in.
Truitt, a good run there on the highest side there, trying to get to the outside of Herman. He does. Herman trying to wrap the inside there. Michael Politis. He still got the playoff markings there, but he did not make this second round. And here comes Herman trying to get to the inside of that 77 machine. This is her 13th. And Herman getting into it here, even though, you know, he's locked in the Homestead Will. You know, he said he doesn't want to make any enemies.
Oh, yeah.
He's not making any enemies, but, you know, he is in the thick of it here, trying to make the most of this race.
Yeah, I take that back. I didn't know that we had the 85 in this field here tonight. I suspected that he took the night off, just like the 15 machine of Michael Madden. But contrary to me, he's in this race. He's racing pretty strong. Quiet, though. He's up 2 spots from the drop of the green flag, up to 13th. You know, this is the same strategy he applied last week, Emerson. Watch for the 85. He's sneaking up this grid. Could be one of those dark horses in this race.
Certainly, and still a lot of racing to go, and a lot can play out in his favor. The battle continues behind Van Politis, trying to fend off Logan Truitt and Austin Purnell. Politis fending off some JBR trucks here. Keeping tabs on the battle back for third. Everyone is starting to open up their gaps a little bit between Johnson, Ellison, Brummett, and Sturgill. They now find themselves almost 4 seconds back of Joshua Balliet. And getting tight once again for third. Ellison trying to find a way past that 38 machine.
Emerson, as we cruise along board here with Gabriel Ellison, he's on the back bumper of Johnson. Ooh, big move there from the 27 machine. What do you suppose pit stops are around the corner? I gotta think maybe around 105, 110 for some of these drivers up here at the top.
Right, so it's going to be intriguing because typically a fuel run on 100% fuel around here can get you in the range of about 90 laps. We're at 75% fuel, so we're talking about 70 laps on fuel. And so from the stage caution at lap 50, the pit stops at 52, we're looking at pit stops somewhere in the 100 to 115 range. I think somewhere around there is when we can expect pit stops. And then we're getting to the halfway point of the race. Right about now, actually, it's halfway. It'll be intriguing. You heard Balliet talk about it under a stage interview. Will, you know, how's he going to play this? Is he going to go as long as he can and, you know, hope for a yellow, or is he going to play it to a certain lap? And he said, well, him being out there, he can let the others make that decision. He's not going to be forced to it. And also building up a gap is going to give him that luxury as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see these drivers now starting to settle into the pace. We're not seeing so many battles. We're not seeing drivers really force it. I think tire wear is starting to creep into the picture as well, as the 66 of Dean Brummett gets loose off of the corner, bounces off that top side wall. These drivers right here kind of concern me, Emerson, not because they're not skillful drivers. The tire wear is starting to become an issue, and these drivers won't back down for battles 4 spots. So if one of these guys gets into a battle, that tire wear sneaks up on them. We could have one of these championship drivers possibly knocked out of this race, and that could be their championship. We talked about the things, the implications. They are 1 point separates third to 8th.
Like that.
So right here, drivers already having issues.
And that's awesome. Purnell on the 36. Good point there, Will. Yeah, when you get into these battles, it gets a little harder to control these trucks, especially when you're in a battle side by side, you can't run the optimal racing line. Whether you're on the inside or the outside, both of you are going to have to compromise somewhere on the racing line where there's less grip than normal. And with older tires, you know, overheated tires offline, that's where problems tend to occur. And that very much can happen. Now, if it's, you know, going to be 4 drivers to battle on old tires, I like these 4 drivers right here. But still, you've already seen Brummett get the wall, Johnson get the wall, Brummett get sideways, Sturgill get sideways. You know, you can't write anything off with these four.
Absolutely not. I believe one of them has to pull some sort of strategy out of the hat to have anything for Joshua Balliet at the top of this grid as we watch Gabriel Ellison in that 27, Dean Brummett Johnson in that 88 or 38 machine there. And you know, Emerson, I want to jump inside of the top 15. We have other guys. They're battling it out. Lane Hosler is up 6 spots in this race in that 61 machine just outside of the top 10. Timothy Latham has moved up to 9th in this race as well. Brian McAvoy actually bookends the top 10 in that 79 machine, continuing a great run for that 79 here the past couple weeks.
Yeah, a bunch of these teammates right here in Latham, McAvoy, Hostler, all running right here in the thick of it. Top 10 for Latham and McAvoy. Hostler just outside of it. Doyle behind. Hostler now, one of those playoff drivers, could use a top 10 run here, and I'm sure he's pressuring teammate Brian McAvoy to get a move on up ahead, but you know, right there, not having a bad run. Also here, a little bit of a battle between Cardullo and Baldler, two non-playoff drivers here in this battle for 7th, and Baldler scrapes the wall. Baldler, by the way, is our Tuesday night admin. Getting some laps in here on Wednesday night series. Side by side now in this battle for 7th.
Some laps, Emerson. He's putting in some hot laps in this race. Balder there inside of the top 10. He's in a side-by-side battle now with Cardella, who's been inside of the top 10 as well all race along. We've had some interchanges between that 9th and 10th position and that 11th spot, but mainly here, Emerson, 102 laps into this race, this top 10 has mainly stayed the same. These drivers have held onto these spots. They haven't given them up. I expect the volume, I expect the heat to turn up just a little bit here as the pressure starts to mount for some of these guys down the stretch.
Absolutely, and you find yourself further back in the pack here. This is a battle for 16th between Michael Politis and Connor Cunningham, two drivers. Now they're slowly being approached by the race leader here, Will, and you know, they are, you know, potential candidates to be lapped here later in the race. This could be a battle for the lucky dog, and these are drivers, you know, not having the best today as well, but these are some of those drivers we could talk about, you know, finding themselves offline and potentially getting caught out by some, you know, unseen tire conditions here as Cunningham makes that pass on Politis. Back here, Sturgill and Brummett duel it out for 5th.
This is a big spot right here, that 5th spot. You don't want to be at the tail end of this snake line. Michael Sturgill, you can tell how eager he is to get around the 66. You don't want to lose that draft. You know, if you can stay in that 66 position right there, you can feel the draft coming from both sides. Emerson, once you lose that, you see with the 90, he's trying everything he can to try to stay on this back bumper, the 66, trying to get on that wind as well. One of the names I wanted to point out to you, though, we talk about those championship drivers. We talk about this is the top 10. We're going to get down to that championship 5. You know, Logan Truitt not having the greatest of races so far, Emerson. He finds himself there down in 14th. He's lost 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. Fastest lap time in this race is a 22.102. I mean, he needs to find some speed in this race, try to stay inside the top 15, possibly even get a top 10 with how close these points are.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, you know, short tracks just sometimes are not your friend, man. This could just not be his track type, and he's feeling the effects of it here. He really needs to capitalize on a good race at Michigan, and now he's going to be heading into Nashville Super Speedway, which, contrary to its name, drives like a short track, but has long straightaways to where it's not a short track. It's a very weird track coming up in 2 weeks' time here, Will, that Logan Truitt might, he's probably going to have to get to the grind here over the off week and grind out some National Super Speedway and figure out where you can find some advantages here, because it looks like tonight it's just not his night.
And one of the other sneaky things, you know, I love pointing out tidbits in this race. We've barely had any on-track cautions. If I could remember correctly, Emerson, if we've had even one in this race so far, a far stretch what we saw last night in our Tuesday night race, a race that was very clean, the majority of the race, and of course we got through about 12 cautions. here tonight, no cautions that I can remember 110 laps in.
That's right. Well, there was no caution for incident tonight. There was one incident on the night with Branson McCannon as he spun and slammed the inside wall, but that did not bring out a caution. The only caution on the evening was for stage at lap number 50, and we're still green right now. Will, this is the longest green flag run of the day. If we went back green on lap 57, well, we are 54 laps in on this, run. 54 green flag laps on these tires. Michael Politis has hit the pit lane. Albert Hewins has already pitted. So Gerald Poole is in the 3 machine. The back end of the lead lap here, Will, is coming down the pit lane.
Dominoes start to fall 112 laps into this race. This is the Yahtzee reshuffle of the program. And Emerson, we saw it last night in that race. So many guys, so many different strategies. Do you expect the leaders in this race to possibly push this envelope? Or do you expect some of those guys, the likes of Schaefer, Johnson, Ellison right now, Brummett, Sturgill, try that undercut to maybe gain some positions on the 7 at Balliet?
Here's my thinking. I think they absolutely want to. I think all of them, that isn't Joshua Balliet, wants to pit as early as they can and get fresh tires. The only thing that's scary about that, Will, is if you pit here, you fall 2 laps down. If a caution does come out, untimely yellow, an unlikely one at this moment, but never a 0% chance to not get a caution. If you find yourself trapped 2 laps down, that is almost impossible to gain back the way this race has gone. So we'll see here what strategy call gets played here. Michael Politis on those fresh tires here. First driver on fresh tires down in 18th, but he is 2 laps down here, Will. And he's going to have to really be on here to get himself back onto 1 lap down.
You see Brad Herman, though, last week's winner, doing a great job here in this race with the same mindset. We actually interviewed him. Here comes Timothy Latham down pit road in that 5 machine. He's been in and out of the top 10, just booing out of the 11th, 10th spot up to 9th at one point in this race. Domino's starting to fall. Here comes the 5 down. I expect more drivers here as we creep up towards that window you were speaking about, Emerson.
Yeah, we're right there now. Lap 120 would be a nice little split down the middle. Actually, right here, Latham's playing halfway through the stage. This is a nice little pit lap here for Timothy Latham. I could see many drivers seeking this lap or around here. But many of them, I believe, if they don't think, or they think there's a potential caution on the rise, everyone's going to go as long as they can. Lane Hostler here. Now, Lane Hostler, he has been great as of late, Will. He has been... I've said it on broadcast before. Lane Hostler might be the best driver on the long runs in this league. He just has wicked speed, 60 laps into a run here at Richmond, man. He was picking him up and putting him down, man. And so Hostler coming in this early is actually a little surprising to me, given his speed. And now teammate Brian McAvoy is in.
I would have to say, to argue with you, Emerson, Joshua Balliet is pretty good on those long runs as well. You're seeing it here tonight. At one point, had about a 6-7 second lead on the rest of the field. So a battle between those two on those long runs. I'm excited to see if he can catch Balliet with this undercut strategy, as we still see Joshua Balliet out on the racetrack here as more drivers heading down. Here comes Michael Sturgill in the 90 down pit road.
I 100% agree. Balliet is up there. The only reason I say Lane Hostler is because I raced him, and there's times where I think I have a position locked up in a race, and all of a sudden, 20 laps left in the race, old tires, and here he comes flying past me, and I'm just like, where did he come from? We got Sturgill, Ellison, Doyle there in the pit lane. Latham, Hostler, Politis, they have all pitted. Race leader Joshua Balliet still out here. 64 laps to go here from Richmond. Joshua Balliet has a 3.2 second advantage over Reese Schaefer Leading here at Richmond is Balliet, Schaefer, Johnson, Brummett, Cardulo, the top 5, Baldler, Truitt, Herman, Purnell, and Cunningham, the top 10. I think most of the drivers who have pitted early have pitted now, and the rest are probably going to go as long as they can with, you know, barring a yellow. And so Gabriel Ellison leading the charge of the drivers who have pitted. He is 1 lap down.
Ryan Johnson down. Ryan Johnson,
Yep.
38 machine down pit road. Now he is the first driver inside of the top 3 to head down pit road. And it looks like Emerson here on this lap, he'll head down by himself. Doesn't look like anybody else on pit road with him.
Yeah, we're getting to the point of the race here, Will, where I think it's all about fuel now. Of your tires. Do you feel you still have grip to continue on? If you do, you're going to probably continue to run. If you feel like the grip is dropped off, you're probably coming down about now. And now here's the leader, Joshua Balliet, and he saw the first domino, the top 3 fall, and Ryan Johnson, and he said, I'm not going to let him get too many more laps on him. Now teammate Reese Schaefer takes the race lead, and so Schaefer, one of those playoff drivers, Will, taking a very important point here by leading a lap.
Absolutely, and this is that mixed strategy I was talking about. We have Gabriel Ellis and Michael Sturgill down pit road on lap 119. We have Ryan Johnson down pit road lap 123. Now here on lap 125, Joshua Balliet, Reese Schaefer down. So these drivers are going to have some gaps on those tires. Dean Brummett leading the way. Layden Cardillo right there as well. Danielle Balder right there. Logan Truitt, Brad Herman, Austin Brunel, Connor Cunningham, and Doc Holliday remain on the racetrack here as we await the other leaders to head down with 59 laps to go.
Here we go. Here's the race here. Where does Balliet come out in relation to Gabriel Ellison? Gabriel Ellison there. Balliet coming off of turn 4, and you're right. The leader, Dean Brummett, is in. Balliet maintains the race lead. For the theoretical lead post-pit cycle, Balliet would be the leader. Landon Cardulo takes over the race lead here at Richmond.
Connor Cunningham down pit road as well. It's an absolute traffic jam down pit road now as that Halloween 28 machine will head into his pit box. 27 machine Gabriel Ellison, he's already back at work. We've got Daniel Balder down pit road, Brad Herman down pit road as well. Everything is reshaping up here. Emerson as Layden Cardillo is leading the way. Logan Truitt there in second. Austin Purnell in third. Now our leader heads down. The 31 machine will head down as well. Things are shaping up as though Joshua Balliet will regain the lead somehow, some way. He's already up to 4th here on the racetrack.
He'll be 3rd when he comes by Cardulo. Here's the leader in Logan Truitt in that 35 machine with 56 laps to go. And yeah, Balliet played that beautifully, Will. He has the freshest tires of the entire top 3 once everyone comes down to pit lane. Truitt and Purnell, they're coming in here. And so next time Balliet comes by the pit exit, he will be the leader. There's Balliet around in turns 3 and 4.
And what a
Oh,
picture.
Brad Herman's going around! And the caution is going to come out, the second caution of the day. The graphic says first, but first caution for incident tonight. Brad Herman loops it out at turn number 4. If you had a keen eye, you were able to see it live, but we'll go back and see what happened to Brad Herman here. And again, we caught most of it live. Coming off the pit lane. Well, he just came off the pit lane. Cold tires, as cold as they're ever gonna be. Gas is up too much out of turn 4. A little bit of right rear damage, messing with the aerodynamics. Round he goes.
He should be all right, though. Emerson didn't see any contact anywhere there for the 85. Last week's winner, we mentioned, already locked into that championship round. Next week, we look at the 85 here. Was having a pretty good race. Emerson was in and out of that top 10. Was doing pretty good here in this race. I mean, with no damage, he will be able to get back up to speed. Ooh, good save to keep that. Oh, man, 2 great saves there to keep that tail off of the top side wall. And then that traffic coming by, Emerson just able to avoid disaster. He'll be all right, though. Brad Herman, I can still expect maybe a top 15 out of the 85 here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And there it is. Again, just coming off the pit lane, Will. This is the first corner on cold tires, and he just throttles up. Well, what happens, Will, is, like I said, the biggest difference is when you come off of very hot tires after a long green flag run, Will, and you bolt on fresh tires that are cold, it's a whole different ball game. You have to be careful, and I think he accelerated at the same point as he was on hot tires, and that's what catches him out. And Brad Herman, he has called it a day. So Brad Herman has left the session, Will. And with that, he will call it no mas here from Richmond. Working our second caution of the evening. Will, we're going to take a step aside and hear a quick message from our partners at Butt Kicker. Don't go anywhere. Welcome, race fans, back to virtual Richmond, Virginia, here working our second caution of the evening. 50 laps to go when we get back to racing as Joshua Balliet, the race leader, Gabriel Ellison, Michael Sturgill, Reese Schaefer, Lane Hotzler, then the top 5 as the field is doubled up and getting ready for action once again here. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Joshua Balliet, racing resuming from Richmond. One lap after the restart here, and the battle is going on here. Latham and Dean Brummett going at it for A. Brummett trying to make the most of it. Sideways up off the corner.
Dean Brummett, oh, we'll go to the inside for the 79 machine. Little BOGO action there. Timothy Latham trying to hold it down. He'll go to the inside of McElvoy. He'll get the spot as he inches that nose just a little bit. There is a 66 will stay low on the racetrack. That's what you got to do, Emerson. Stay low as we're off with 2. Is a 66 Dean Brummett will get that spot. Moving up to 7th as now Hosler is right in front of him there for that 6th position. He is our biggest mover in the race, that 61 machine.
Absolutely, Will. Lane Hossler again profiting on those long runs, nearly getting together now side by side for 3rd. Schaefer trying to get past the 27 of Ellison, and he does. Now move Schaefer up to 3rd. He's got Michael Sturgill to try to chase down.
Great move out of the 17 truck, a Reese Schaefer, who has been a top 5 truck all night long. Right there in that 3rd spot. Michael Sturgill up to 2nd. Joshua Balliet, he is our leader. I believe, though, Emerson, that caution flag have maybe shook things up just a little bit in the cockpit of the 7 machine. Doesn't have as big a lead here in this.
Caution's out. Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday goes around on the back straightaway at contact with Lane Doyle. Third caution of the evening, the 2nd for incident. We'll see what happened here. Doc Holliday was 1 lap down. And a little high up off the corner. little contact with Daniel Baldler. Hooks Baldler into the outside wall. And, oh, nowhere for Doyle to go. Right on board of Doc Holliday here in the 9 machine. He's really low up off the corner, and Baldler did not expect that. They come together, and big hit there for Doyle as well on the side. A bunch of drivers pit. Michael Sturgill, Gabriel Ellison, Timothy Latham, Daniel Butler, Brian McAvoy. Lane Doyle will help it for some damage repairs. But good chunk of the field. The top 10 stay out. Gonna be interesting here. Sturgill, Ellison, McAvoy pit, everyone else. And a little bit of damage repair. And Baldler, Latham, Lane Doyle. Working our second caution of the evening. Want to give a shout out to all of you watching at home. Appreciate you all tuning in and joining us for tonight's action here. The second playoff race of the second round. In total, this is playoff race number 5 of 7. Race number 18 of 20 on the season. Glad to have you watching with us here on Speed Racing Network. Go ahead and drop a like, a subscription. It would all help us out here at SRN, guys. If you see that join button, you might be wondering, well, join what? For $4.99 a month, guys. You can become a Speed Racing Network premium member here on the YouTube channel. Get access to loyalty badges, custom emojis, priority reply to comments, and much, much more here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out by hitting join on our YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, and X, I'll give a shout out to you too as well. Appreciate all the support we get across all of our platforms. Will 142 laps complete, 42 to go. What do you make of what we've seen so far?
I'm still amazed by the 7 machine of Joshua Balliet. I know that's cliche to say, talk about the leader in this race. I'm looking back at my notes from last night's race. We had Matthew Greathouse win the first stage. We had drivers come in the middle of the race, sort of work out the Matthew Greathouse out of the lead. Here tonight, Emerson, no one has topped the top lap of Joshua Balliet at a 21.830. Nobody has yet to get him off that top position. Of course, heading down pit road, there was an interchange there for a moment. But it's just been an absolute drive out of the 7. That's what's standing out to me here tonight. Watch here in this restart if he feels any pressure. With 41 laps to go, if he can get out in that open air and get that long run building up like he did there in that first stage, it could be game over for the rest of the field.
And so, something to note here, Will, the top 10 stayed out. 11th through 15th, they've all pitted. This is going to be 15 lap fresher tires for most of the field. Now, granted, there was 2 cautions in between that. So, about 7 or 8 green flag laps. We'll see how much of a difference that means for the rest of the field. And Balliet here pit on lap 125. Again, give me racing drivers who pit on lap 141. It'll be interesting here. Balliet and Schaefer, the Tank Racing teammates on the front row. The iRacing.com safety vehicle into the safety of pit lane. Racing resumes from Richmond. We got a truck pounding the walls. They're 3 wide in the thick of the field back here. We've got McAvoy, Sturgill, Latham, Ellison, Politis all under a blanket in the heart of the pack.
That is the absolute heart of the pack. We're 3 wide. 3 wide into the corner. Emerson, how long can this continue here at Richmond? 3 wide continues off of the corner. There we go, as we have a truck bouncing off of the wall. Here, that's Politis in that 79. What an absolute traffic jam here at Richmond as we're off the corner. 38 laps to go here as drivers battling out for spots down the front stretch.
Yeah, Purnell, McAvoy pounding the walls down off of turn number 4. Truck's being pushed up the track. Politis trying to work the 90 truck up the track. Big pack of trucks working their way here down, and we got a battle for the lead. Brummett going on with Joshua Balliet.
Yeah, Dean Brummett's right there. We didn't even see this 66 sneaking up the field, but here he comes right to the inside of the 7. He is not backing down from this dog fight here at the top as he come off 4. Cross that start-finish line into 1. The 66 trying to get that spot. He has been a top 5 truck all race along. The 7, of course, as I mentioned, has been our leader all race long. This battle continues on the backstretch into 3.
Balliet clears by Dean Brummett. He'll take the race lead again. But that is one of the first real attempts anyone's had at Joshua Balliet today. Of course, it's on a restart, but Brummett has 2 lap pressure tires. We'll see if that makes a difference later on.
And Brummett does not want to see this caution flag. Emerson, if the caution flag comes down, that will force the 7 down pit road. He'll have to go down while everybody else stays out. The 7 wants this thing to stay green. He wants to stay out on the racetrack. He wants to hold down that top spot. As we jump back here to this traffic jam on the racetrack, heading down into the corner with 3 wide again. Emerson, oh my goodness, here at Richmond.
Sturgill down low, McAvoy in the middle, Purnell up high off of turn number 2. Purnell backs out, Sturgill and McAvoy go at it, side by side ahead as well as Ellison dives on Cardulo. Man, it is getting feisty back here.
Oh, as the 27 has to come flying off of that corner. They're getting sideways a little, beating and banging, little elbows out here. Emerson with 33 to go.
Hostler up the track. Cardulo makes a nice move as he slides right in front of Ellison to send it on Hostler. Now Hostler loses 2 spots in 1 lap. Sideways as Cardulo up off the corner. 3 wide. Cardulo turned into the wall.
He's in the wall, but he's all right, though. A little scrape there on the top side. He's still moving and grooving here in this race. He stays inside of the top 10. Actually, bookends the top 10. Now Cardulo has not split outside of the top 10 all race long. Here comes Timothy Latham. He wants that opportunity to move up. He'll get a bump there in the corner of 3 and 4. What an absolute chaotic race we have now with 31 laps to go. Emerson as Joshua Balliet. He's still under fire from the 66 to Dean Brummett trying to put that move.
Not able to clear past them just yet. Still fighting hard here. Ellison and Truitt. This for 5th.
Battle for a top 5. Ellison's trying to get it right there. Across that start finish line, the 35 of Truitt. I talked about it. It was surprising to see Truitt sort of struggle early on in this race. Proving me absolutely wrong here with 30 laps to go. Logan Truitt trying to get inside the top 5. He's got some moves to make, though. Here comes Sturgill in that 90, trying to throw his hat in the mix. Off of 4, cross that start-finish line. Make it 29 to go into 1.
29 laps to go here from the Richmond Raceway, and everyone showing their hands, everyone putting it all out on the table, pushing Joe's chips to the center. Is Joshua Balliet with the race lead and trying to fend off Dean Brummett. He's opened up the gap to nearly half a second. He's got Schaefer, Johnson, Ellison, the top 5. It's Sturgill, Truitt, McAvoy, Purnell, and Latham, the top 10. Cardulo, Hostler, they got the wall. They're battling it out for 11th and 12th. Politis, Cunningham, and Doyle, the lead lap.
27 laps to go. Joshua Balliet continues to lead in this race. He will feel some pressure, though, as Dean Brummett in that 66 continues to mount up a run. Reese Schaefer there in 3rd. Johnson 4th. Gabriel Ellison in 5th. True jump back here to McAvoy in that 79. What an absolute dogfight he's in with Logan Truitt as they come off of 4. This is to stay inside the top 10.
Also, Cardulo, Hostler, and Politis, they're all in a dogfight as well, but this one for 7th. McAvoy trying to get clear of Truitt, and they still remain side by side now up front as Ellison on Johnson for 4th.
Every position counts here. We talked about 1 point separated positions in the points table. Well, here tonight at Richmond, these drivers are racing for every inch. Here comes Michael Sturgill to the inside of the 38. Michael Sturgill has had a great race here tonight, trying to move inside the top 5. The 38 won't let him do it, though, as they're side by side into the corner. You see the 27, Gabriel Ellison. He's cleared up to 4th. As the field is fanning out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Joshua Balliet, though, just has that half a second lead. It's not pulling away just yet here with 24 to go.
Here's the thing, Will. Here comes Ellison and Sturgill. They're running slightly faster than Balliet, not by much, but Ellison a 10 faster last lap. We'll see here. Balliet crosses the stripe. It's at a 66. Ellison crosses the stripe at a 55, so just over a 10th for Ellison. Closing the gap. 23 laps to go. Catching one thing, passing's another, but Ellison also has 2 trucks between himself and Balliet. Not saying it's going to happen, not saying it's not, but there's a chance.
There's an absolute chance here in the Speed Racing Network here on this wonderful Wednesday night here. I think Joshua Balliet, when you saw that pressure 66 that Dean Brumman applied, that was the 7 may have conserving a little bit. You watch the runs now, the lap times are getting better. Now has a second lead on that 66, the same lines, the same everything on the racetrack. Emerson, now I think the 7's starting to buy that gas pedal just a little bit more down to the floor, getting a little bit more juice out of those Goodyear Eagles. I think he's cruising to victory here with 20 laps to go.
Potentially. Here comes Ellison on Schaefer. This, the battle for third. And Schaefer trying to find a way past Brummett. He's going to have to think otherwise, though, and fend off Gabriel Ellison here.
Yeah, Dean Brummett can't get comfortable in second. Reese Schaefer is going to look to the inside. If he can get the 66 up the racetrack just a little bit, won't happen off of that corner. He'll wait here down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Reese Schaefer, though, can't get to the low side of the racetrack. That will open the door to Gabriel Ellison in the 27, who will look to the low side of the 17 into 1. Now Reese Schaefer under fire there. Emerson into the corner.
Side by side for third. Ellison trying to make it up off the corner. Schaefer holding station up high. Brummett sitting in front. He's loving it. Balliet's loving all of it as he opens the gap to the trucks behind. Hard fought battle now for that third position. Ellison and Schaefer. Ellison rolling the center of the corner nicely down on the bottom side. Brummett trying to play some defense here as well. 1.5 seconds the gap now to the race lead. Ellison, Sturgill, they're boxed in here.
And for Brummett in that 66 machine, he's just watching from afar. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and battle it out for that spot behind me. I'm good with that battle as the 27 looks to the inside of that 66. The 66 quickly pulls away from that 27. Doesn't want anything to do with Gabriel Ellison. He's comfortable there in second, but Gabriel Ellison, though, he is not comfortable in third. Now to the back bumper, the 66 into the corner. He's going to look to make a move here in just a little while. Here comes the 90, Michael Sturgill. Can't forget about him, Emerson, as these guys are racing for podium spots as the 27 looks to the inside of the 66. Gabriel Ellison will get the spot as he moves up the second.
Ellison clears, makes easy work of Dean Brummett. Gets up to second. He's cleared the second. 15 laps to go. 1.8 seconds to gap. Sturgill trying to do the same. Sturgill trying to clear up in front of the 66, and he does. So move Ellison to second. Sturgill to third. Move Brummett and Schaefer back to fourth and fifth. And there's more battling here between Johnson and McAvoy. This for sixth.
Yeah, this battle for 6 across that start-finish line. And unfortunately for Dean Brummett and the 66 machine, that's the gamble you take on older tires, possibly hoping for a caution in this race. Hasn't seen one for a while. That's going to cost him a lot of speed as Johnson thought he had a move on McAvoy into the corner. Now has to follow right back down the 79. Off of 4 here as we make it 13 laps to go here in the Glytch Truck Series.
13 to go now. Looks like the top 10 for the first time since the restart. All single file, everyone kind of trying to recatch their breath. Brummett under heavy pressure from Reese Schaefer. We saw this before Ellison and Sturgill got there. Now Schaefer's got the run.
Schaefer does have the runs, but a top 5 truck all night long to the inside of the 60-16. Brummett just trying to hold on to any spot that he can. Emerson, he can see these positions just going one by one by one by one. He can't hold on as Reese Schaefer still to the inside of that 66, just being an aggravating factor here with 11 laps to go. This is for a spot inside of that top 5 if the 66 of Dean Brummett loses this spot, then McAvoy comes there with the 79 machine, and he's coming fast there. Off of 2, they're still side by side. Now into 3.
Yes, they are maintaining side by side. We saw Schaefer already once stick side by side with Sturgill earlier in this race for nearly 10 laps. Now with 10 laps to go, will Schaefer be able to do the same? Will he be able to leg it out? Will he be able to find a way to get past Dean Brummett? Right now, Brummett has the advantage. Up off the corner, Schaefer trying to drag race him down the back. Just driving it deep into the center of turns 3 and 4. Schaefer trying to roll that bottom. Nine laps to go. Out in front, Joshua Balliet has a 1.6 second advantage over Gabriel Ellison. Make that 1.5. The gap is closing, but is there enough time for Ellison to do something about it? Schaefer still working on Dean Brummett.
I think that hourglass has seen its last bead of sand hit the bottom. Joshua Balliet now almost to a 2-second lead on Gabriel Ellison in that 27 machine with 8 laps to go. I think we're looking as Joshua Balliet being our next championship driver. What a performance this has been, Emerson.
Absolutely. 7 laps to go for truck number 7. Hostler and Cardulo, Hostler and Cardulo duel it out for 12th. This is behind Connor Cunningham for Via's 2. And Hostler clears by Cardulo. Brummett is cleared Reese Schaefer. And now 6 laps to go, Richmond. 4 of a 7 machine. The gaps have stabilized out. That last lap, Balliet, for the first time since Gabriel Ellison has pitted outside of laps where Ellison was battling, Balliet has ran faster than Ellison.
And for Joshua Balliet in that 7 machine, that only still be fast in this race. He's racing faster lap times than guys with fresher equipment. He still holds the fastest lap time of the entire race. Not something we saw last night in those trucks either. You know, sometimes guys get fresher tires. They can lay out a quick time, knock off that fastest lap time of the race. So you think about the statistical things of this race for Joshua Balliet. He'll be our stage winner. He'll be our fastest lap. He'll be the most laps led. He'll check every single box here tonight, Emerson. Everything you need to do to be a championship driver.
Absolutely. And remember, Will, coming into today's race, not that it was a must-win situation, but he made it feel like in his own self that this was a theoretical must-win in his eyes. It's a short track. It's his track type. He doesn't, know how National's going to go. He knows that this is a track he can come and win at. And so far with 3 laps to go, it's been dominant. It's been all the 7 truck today. He's only had 1 real battle all day long, and he quickly shut the door back on that. That was with Dean Brummett, who we're watching here, trying to fend off Schaefer for 4th. And now 2 laps to go here from Richmond. Well, 1.5 miles to settle it.
Lucky number 2 off the flag stand as Joshua Balliet will take us down the backstretch. Has been an absolutely incredible performance. The only driver that put any pressure on him was Dean Brummett in that 66, and that lasted about a half a lap, Emerson, as he takes the white flag into 1.
I think the only driver who put pressure on Joshua Balliet tonight was Joshua Balliet. We saw Brad Herman get it done in thrilling fashion last week through 3 cautions tonight. Wild strategy, but Joshua Balliet, the dominant force of the day. Joshua Balliet is going to Homestead. Brummett beats Schaefer for 4th in the tie battle across the stripe. It's Ellison and Sturgill 2nd and 3rd as the rest of the lead lap comes across the line, and it is Joshua Balliet, the driver sitting in EPI victory lane this evening, quickly making it around to the start-finish line, and with reason to celebrate here on the front straightaway. Joshua Balliet's going to light him up, and he does. Gonna go for a Polish victory lap. And well deserved. I mean, he probably led 180 of the 185 tonight, if I had to guess. I mean, he led almost every lap other than the pit cycle.
Yeah, one of those performances, just out of Richmond, if you can get locked in, you can start hitting those corners. Not only that, Emerson was able to work through older equipment, older tires. That didn't seem to bother the 7 machine as well, as you see him slip sliding around the front stretch here, burning it down. Just a great overall performance. I cannot wait to see him at Homestead. Of course, he's going to face the top of the field. I mean, we're going to have the 5 of the best drivers there at Homestead. And I think we might be looking at the champion here. It might be too early to say, but with a performance like this, Emerson definitely championship-esque for the 7 machine.
It's definitely a championship caliber performance, Will. And you just think about it coming into the playoffs, Will. He had 4 wins. He got a 5th one at Watkins Glen. Now his 6th win on the season. Who knows? Maybe he's going 7 for number 7 when it matters most in 4 weeks' time. And he'll still be burning it down the pit lane. Obviously, in real life, this would be a safety concern, but there's nobody down there. Let him let him have it. And we'll go ahead, we'll bring on up driver of the number 7, getting win number 6 on the season, Mal, but more importantly, the one that locks you into that championship 5 race at Homestead. How about it?
We're going to Homestead, baby. Let's go. But it was pretty got me a little worried when they the 2 people that pit, they ended up getting by Dean. So I made sure I really had to push those final, like, I think it was 10 laps they got up there, and was able to hold the gap and actually pull away a little bit there. But at first they were catching, I got a little worried, but tires kind of like equaled out a little bit since we ran so many laps.
That, and they had to fight tooth and nail to get up there. I was gonna say, how worried were you once they got up to 2nd and 3rd? How worried were you, I guess, when the caution came out, when they pitted? Did you think you had enough laps? Did you think it was on your side? And what if it became a caution fest?
When they pitted, I figured, like, I thought it was pretty okay when I saw them all pit. I was like, we barely ran any laps. We pit on 125. Maybe I had 8 laps on the tires, and we still ran like I think it was a 22-1 before they pit. So I felt pretty comfortable. And then when they got up to 2nd and 3rd, I was like, that's pretty quick, because they got up to 2nd, 3rd like 170. So luckily, I saved a bit of tire after Dean kind of fell off, so I was able to push those final 10, 15, and keep the win.
There it is. I know you were making, I guess, not a big deal about it, but you definitely put a little pressure on yourself to bring it out tonight. Just, I mean, this is your track type, and this was really going to be your marquee race to get it done, to make it into the championship 5. Now you did it. How do you go about the next 4 weeks? I know Nashville's thrown in there a couple off weeks to prepare for Homestead, which I know isn't necessarily one of your favorite tracks.
Anything over a mile, not too great at, but Homestead may be fine. It depends on what kind of setup we get, because if we just get something that's gonna just roll the bottom a whole bunch, something that's a bit tighter. I know people aren't gonna like that, but something that's a bit tighter, that's you're rolling the bottom a bunch, I'll probably be able to hold my own a little bit better there. But if we get something to where we're on the bottom, we migrate to the top, and we're just sending her out there, probably be a little bit of a struggle. Nashville, now that we got this Richmond win, I'm not even worried about it.
But there you are, driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet, getting his 6th win on the season, but probably the most important one yet, as it locks a spot up for Homestead. Now you're going to be joining Brad Herman and 3 others for a championship down at Homestead, Miami in 4 weeks' time. Congratulations on the win, and best luck to you when we get there.
Thank you.
That was driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet. Of course, the driver sitting in EPI victory lane this evening. We'll talk to then the drivers who were chasing him from behind. Driver of the number 27, Gabriel Ellison, standing by with you, Will.
Yeah, Gabriel Ellison,
Dang
that
it.
27 machine, has had a great race here tonight. Was in and out of the top five. Gabriel, you come home second. Looking at the numbers of Joshua Balliet, I would say that's a win because I don't think anybody was catching him here tonight. Take us through your race here tonight, Richmond.
Yeah, pretty solid. I mean, started fifth, hopped up to fourth pretty quick. I think I got third in the stage, so I had really good long run speed. I was running 14 to 1. It's like short run I struggled, but long run it would kind of come back to me. I think I was probably the third best on long run. Obviously, Balliet was the class of the field, and Schaefer's really fast too. But where we had that yellow, kind of mixed it up a little bit, and me and Sturgill decided to take tires for that last 40 laps, and it paid off. We were able to come all the way back to second. But definitely used my tires up, trying to get past Schaefer and Brummett. They did a good job, holding their spot on the track. So by the time we passed them, I mean, I'd killed them, and Balliet was way too fast to even have a shot. But overall, it'll take second. Good points, and we'll go to Nashville.
Yeah, talking of those points, you were on the outside looking in, but we talked about there was only 1 point that separated most of you guys from about third all the way down to about eighth in those points. You should be locked into the top five heading to Nashville in 2 weeks' time. How do you like your chances at Nashville, and are you comfortable enough to maybe be in that championship five?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll run good there. I usually do. But this is so tight on points. But even with a great point tonight, I mean, I should be above the cut, but it's not going to be more than a couple points, I don't think. So, I mean, it's definitely going to come down to points at Nashville. So, I feel good about it, but we'll just see.
And I wanted to ask you too before we get to those shout outs and sponsors. Different paint scheme on the truck here tonight, or just maybe you haven't noticed the new colors?
I thought I had the same scheme.
There we go. Maybe you just haven't noticed it. With a great run here tonight, the colors shine well at Richmond. Gabriel, before we let you go, my man, anybody you want to shout out or any sponsors that helped you put you on the podium?
Yeah, huge thanks to Roasted Jim's Coffee and RS Button Boxes, and then huge shout to all the guys at Eons Motorsports. Good team there. Thanks to everybody at SRN also.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks, my man. I expect another great run out of the 27 there in 2 weeks' time at Nashville. Have a great night. We appreciate you taking the time.
All right, thanks.
That was the 27 machine, Gabriel Ellison. And like I said, Emerson, those colors really shine pretty well here tonight at Richmond. Made those color schemes stand out. But you're catching up with a guy who now put in a lot of work in this race and everything he could to get on the podium, to finish on the podium. You're catching up with the 90 machine of Michael Sturgill.
Absolutely. Well, yes, I'm going to catch up with third place finisher, driver of the number 90, Michael Sturgill. And Mike, you also were one of those drivers who pitted on that lap 141, yellow, that second caution after green flag pit stops. Why did you think that strategy felt or suited you the best? And then what do you think of the result now that you've played it out?
Well, we were not gonna have a shot at winning or probably even holding track position if we didn't pit there. We had pit on 120, and a lot of the guys around us had pit like 7, 8 laps later. And we figured we had enough time if it went green to kind of work our way back up through there and have a tire advantage on those guys. And I mean, it worked well. It took a little bit longer than we expected to get around like Dean and Reese. By the time we got around them, the tires had evened out. But I mean, I'm happy with it. We wouldn't have finished second and third otherwise.
Certainly great runs for you and Gabe there to get second and third for the team. And looking at these points, man, I mean, it was very tight coming in. It's still going to be very tight leaving. Now, Balliet, who was below the cut line, he's going to lock himself in. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight between you guys, Brummett, Johnson, Schaefer, and Hostler here for those final, 3 spots. How do you feel about your chances at Nashville in 2 weeks' time? You get an extra week to prepare. And then just how tight it is. What does that, what does that mean to you, or how do you go about it? Do you go about it any differently if it was a little, more spread out?
Yeah, you just have to fight for every spot and be more aggressive than I think I usually am. I'm usually pretty chill, but Gonna have to protect your track position. I don't know. I don't think I've ever driven these on Nashville. Other cars that I've driven there, I've liked the track, so I'm hoping it translates over to the trucks as well. But I really just want to go out and win it, so I don't have to worry. You know, I don't want to leave it up to points at this point in time. So I'm gonna go out there and try to win it.
All right, Michael. Well, you did a great job to try to, maximize your potential tonight here at Richmond with a third place finish. Congratulations on that. Best of luck to you in 2 weeks' time then at Nashville as you try to find yourself into the Championship 5 for Homestead.
Yep. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys again. So y'all have a good night.
Absolutely. You as well, Michael. And that was driver of the number 90, Michael Sturgill, with that third place finish this evening. And with that, we'll have the opportunity to look at our race results for tonight's race. They'll be up on the screen. We'll work through our race results then, and we'll look at it with Joshua Balliet, the race winner over Gabriel Ellison, Michael Sturgill, Dean Brummett, Reese Schaefer, Brian McAvoy, Brian Johnson, Timothy Latham, Logan Truitt, and Austin Purnell. The top 10 will a lot of those playoff drivers up inside that top 10. You got the rest though.
Yeah, that's exactly where they need to be. Connor Cunningham will come home 11th. Lane Hustler with a good run here tonight will come home 12th. Layden Cardillo there. Not the run. We saw him all night long in that 31 machine. He's going to come home 13th. Michael Politis 14th. Daniel Boulder 15th. Doc Holliday is going to come home 16th after that spin he had on the racetrack. And he's actually going to be the last truck remaining on the lead lap. We get to Lane Doyle on that 47 machine. He'll finish 17th. Brad Herman, last week's winner, not going to have a good run here tonight. That's okay. He's locked into that Championship 5, finishes 18th. Jared Poole, 19th. And rounding out our top 20 in our field will be Albert Hunes and Kyle Westwood, 20th and 21st on the racetrack. And also, Branson McKinnon, our early retiree on the racetrack, will finish 22nd.
That's how these 22 drivers who showed up tonight played out this evening. McKinnon with a weird stage 1 incident that saw him eat the inside pit wall, or I guess outside pit wall. Unfortunately sees him leave early. Kyle Westwood had an unfortunate circumstance come up where he had to pit in the second stage, lap 70, and he saw himself out. And from there on, it was a wild race in terms of strategy, and great race ran by the field. You had everything tonight here. Will, what say you?
Yeah, it was a surprising race, I'd have to say. Of course, Joshua Balliet puts on a performance that we could talk about, for the rest of this night, with the most laps led, the fastest lap time, the stage victory, all that stuff. But for what stands out for me, Emerson, is the clean race we had here tonight. The few cautions. Last night we had 12 cautions. Here tonight, I believe only 3 or 4 on the racetrack. So clean short track racing. This race flew by. Now we have a break for 2 weeks. You heard those guys in those post-race interviews. They're amped up. They're ready. It's championship time. Expect a very hungry driver field to come back from 2 weeks. You're basically telling these guys to simmer down for 2 weeks, Emerson, and then you're going to launch them back on the racetrack at Nashville. Watch out. Fireworks will ensue as Joshua Balliet, Brad Herman, our only championship drivers so far. I mean, it's just going to be incredible in Nashville in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely. The Music City will have 8 drivers competing for 3 spots. As far as tonight, that'll do it tonight here from Richmond. Of course, we got to give a shout out to all of our partners here at Speed Racing Network, Fiverr, Glytch, and Z-Girls for all their hard work on each of the respective nights. And of course, Glytch with the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series. Make sure you use code SRN10 for 10% off of your Glytch purchases. Admin Box has been on your screen all evening long, and of course, our starting grid presentation presented by Admin Box. Make sure you use code SRN-box. That's BOXX for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. Butt Kicker. Of course, we heard from them earlier in the evening. Huge shout out to our commercial partner here at Speed Racing Network, Butt Kicker. EPI, of course, of our Victory Lane presentation, and Select Blinds with our incident replays this evening. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, please just go ahead and drop a like. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We would greatly appreciate the support here at Speed Racing Network. And you could Take a look at our Speed Racing Network membership program. We can become a premium member today. For $4.99 a month, you can get access to loyalty badges, custom emojis, exclusive wallpapers and photos, early access to new content, member shoutouts, members only live chat, and priority reply to comments. To join today, of course, you can hit that join button next to the subscribe button. And of course, everyone's going to be keeping their eyes glued to the ever-changing, ever-tight playoff standings on our social media outlets, our Facebook page at facebook.com/speedracingnetwork, our X page at speedracingnet, our Instagram at instagram.com/speedracingnetwork, our YouTube at youtube.com/speedracingnetwork, our Twitch at speedracingnet, our LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/speedracingnetwork, and our website, of course, we can keep up with everything SRN when it comes to news, schedules, points, and all that jazz is awaiting you at speedracingnetwork.com. Well, I think then that'll do it for us here from Richmond. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Speed Racing Network, thank you all so much for watching. I had Will Tiller alongside myself, Emerson Arden, in the virtual booth this evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night when the Z-Grill series keeps short track racing here from Richmond, or in 2 weeks' time when the Glytch Truck series takes to the Music City. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.